Hi, welcome to Grandma at Pambula's YouTube channel. And today I'm going to read Rabbit and Bear. I have so many fond memories of this little book because I think I read it lots and lots of times. One time when I was in Amsterdam, a little girl called Ava Rosie Posey loved to hear it. So I think I read this book lots of times, maybe 5 or 6 times when I was in Amsterdam. And I hope that you all like it too. Mwah. I love you lots. Rabbit and Bear. This one's called Rabbit's Bad Habits. And this is the map of where they live, Rabbit and Bear. I'll leave that there for a minute so you can have a really good look. So there's the Cliff of 1,000 Birds, the Three Sisters Mountain, Giant Sand Pit, Bear's Cave, Rabbit's Warren, the Flower Clearing, Pebble Beach, Wolf Woods, Thunder Mountains, this way to the Monsters, Dragons and Sookums and Humans, Wild Fool Falls, Wolf Woods, Pebble Beach, the Long Lake, Tiny Moss Island with a rock, Small Island, this way to the ocean. Well, actually at Pambula Beach, it's that way to the ocean. And the Bog of Frogs. Let me just see. Okay. As the robber left the cave, he stood on Bear's nose. Bear woke up. My honey, my salmon, and my delicious beetles. Beetles' eggs, said Bear, all gone. Look at Bear's sad face. He looks a bit surprised. But outside in the snowstorm, there was no sign of the robber or the food. Snowstorms, thought Bear. Snowstorms? This isn't spring. I've woken up early. Oh, well, I've always wanted to make a snowman. There's Bear coming out in the middle of winter. Yeah, they normally sleep and hibernate through winter, don't they? The storm ended. The bear rolled a snowball all the way down her hill and up to the top of the next one. She sat down panting. It's the end of the world, said a gloomy voice. Bear looked all around. No, it isn't, said Bear cautiously. It's actually a lovely sunny day. Nonsense, said the voice from below the ground. The sun has gone out. I like the snowball. Ah, thought Bear. She rolled her snowball sideways and uncovered a rabbit hole. Rabbit popped out. He looked at Bear. He looked at the giant snowball. That is huge, that snowball. Only an idiot, said Rabbit thoughtfully, rolls a snowball up a hill. Why, said Bear. Well, gravity. What's gravity? Said Bear. Gravity, said Rabbit rather importantly, is the mysterious force which attracts everything to everything else. Said Bear. Just like friendship? No, said Rabbit. Like love, said Bear. No, said Rabbit. Oh, hunger, said Bear, who was feeling mysteriously attracted to the idea of breakfast. No, said Rabbit, and shoved Bear's giant snowball as hard as he could. It rolled down the hill faster and faster, getting bigger as it went, and skidded across the frozen lake till the ice cracked and Bear's snowball disappeared with a plop, plop. Bear's mouth opened in shock. See, said Rabbit triumphantly, gravity wants you to push snow down a hill and will help you, but gravity does not want you to push snow up a hill and will try to stop you, and only a fool said Rabbit severely. Picks a fight with gravity. Bear finally closed her mouth, sighed, and began to roll another snowball. You know an awful lot about gravity, said Bear. There he is, making another little snowball. I am an expert, said Rabbit. Gravity nearly killed me. No, nearly killed my grandfather. Now, if you could do me a favour, I'd be delighted, said Bear. Rabbit nodded. Go away, he said, and take your avalanche with you. Aww. Rabbit does not want to be friends with Bear, telling him to go away. What? Said Bear cautiously. Is an avalanche? An avalanche, said Rabbit, pointing at the snowball Bear was rolling, is a huge load of snow that rolls down a mountain faster than a train. My grandfather was buried in an avalanche. He had to eat his own leg to survive. Yuck, that's not nice. While he was waiting for someone to dig him out. Really? Said Bear, impressed. He must have been buried for a very long time. Well, no, said Rabbit, about 10 minutes, but he was very, very hungry. Ooh, we get very, very hungry in our family, said Rabbit. Well, I think Bear and Rabbit will have that in common, that they both get hungry. There's a picture of Rabbit's family eating cake and carrots. Do you think that that's carrot cake? I do. Bear's stomach rumbled. Oh, yes, said Rabbit. I'd forgotten you haven't any food. How do you know that? Said Bear. But Rabbit was gone. He soon reappeared. No hard feelings, said Rabbit. Here, and he handed Bear the oldest, saddest, floppiest, blackest carrot Bear had ever seen. You can eat that. Or use it as a nose for your snowy man. That's a pretty gross carrot. Doesn't look very good for eating. Bear sniffed the black floppy carrot. Nose, I think, said Bear. I'll use it as a nose for my snow person. Would you like to help me build a snowman? Rabbit thought for a second. He said, no. Bear sighed and turned and rolled her snowball back down Rabbit's hill. By the time she'd got it back up her own hill, it was bigger than the first one. Perfect, thought Bear, panting. She started to make ahead, and pretty soon she was singing. That's a pretty big snowball. Rabbit could hear Bear's song from his burrow. Said Rabbit. Making a snowman does seem to be... Rabbit had trouble saying the next word because he'd never used it before. Fun. Ooh, ha! I shall make an even better snowman. But first, for energy, Rabbit ate lots and lots and lots of the honey and frozen salmon and delicious beetle eggs that he'd stolen off Bear during the storm. Oh, I think he's the robber. He's taken all of Bear's food. Look at Rabbit there, eating the salmon and the beetle eggs. I don't think I would like beetle eggs, actually. Then he did a little poo and he ate it. What? The rabbit did a poo, then ate it. Oh my gosh. This was rather an embarrassing habit, and it was the reason that Rabbit never invited people over for tea. He looks a bit embarrassed that he's eating his own poo. I forgot to say thanks for the carrot, said Bear's voice right behind Rabbit. Ah! Rabbit jumped his own height in fright and scrambled out of the burrow. Bear, you're welcome. Look at Bear's face poking in the burrow and Rabbit jumping very high. Well, I would jump high too if someone caught me eating my poo. I say, Rabbit, did you just eat your own poo? Said Bear, wondering if she'd seen right. Said Rabbit, yeah, just a little bit. A little tiny bit. A little bit of your own poo, said Bear, wondering if she'd heard right. Shush, said Rabbit, glancing around. Look, all rabbits do it. It's perfectly normal for a rabbit. Well, for a rabbit maybe, said Bear. They're discussing poo eating. Well, said Rabbit, drawing himself up to his full height, which gave him a good view of Bear's tummy. I'm sure bears do some things in the woods that they wouldn't like to talk about. But why do rabbits eat their own poo? Said Bear. Well, why do you eat? Said Rabbit. To get energy and to make new bits of bear, said Bear. Exactly, said Rabbit. It's easy to make a bear out of honey, salmon and delicious beetle eggs. They're full of energy. It's easy to make a wolf out of meat, full of energy. But it's really, really difficult to make a rabbit out of plants. Why? Said Bear.
Because when you have eaten all the plants and digested them in your tummy for hours and pooed them, the job is only half done. No energy, said the bear. None, said Rabbit. The energy is still trapped in the poo. It's sort of soft and black like licorice. Yes, yes, said Bear hastily. So you have to eat all your own poo, said the Rabbit, and digest it all over again to get the energy out. See, here it is in the stomach. Really, said Bear. For some reason, she wasn't hungry anymore. Yeah, I imagine. Yes, said Rabbit. And then you have to poo a totally different kind of poo. Salt and dry brown poo. And just the grassy, twiggy bits in. Bear felt a little weak. Do rabbits eat the other kind of poo? She said. What? Said Rabbit. He couldn't quite believe his enormous ears. The dry brown ones with the grassy twiggy bits in, Bear added helpfully. And there's Bear. Rabbit with the really long ears. Eat the other kind of poo, said Rabbit. Eat the other kind of poo? That's disgusting. Ew. Oh, good, said Bear. Just checking. From dawn to dusk, you're eating and pooing, said Rabbit gloomily. And the other half of the time, you're eating poo. It's an awful life. Maybe that's why you're so grumpy, said Bear. Grumpy, said Rabbit. I'm not grumpy. Okay, you're not grumpy, said Bear. Well, I'm off to, wash my carrot. And there they go, walking. I hate being a rabbit, thought Rabbit, and popped down to the burrow to eat more more of Bear's food. Then, full of energy, Rabbit got back to work on his snowman. Soon he had rolled a huge snowball right over his burrow. See, look at him. There he goes. What a lovely head, shouted Bear from the hilltop. Thanks, but I've already made one. It's not a head, said Rabbit furiously. And it's not for you. It's a body. I've only just started. And it'll be much bigger than yours eventually. See, there he is. Bear gasps. Why? Said Rabbit, irritated. Why are you gasping? Don't you believe me? I'm gasping, shouted Bear politely, because you are about to be eaten by a wolf. Rabbit looked over his shoulder. Oh, look in the trees. Wolf was bounding towards him across the snow. Gosh, Wolf had a lot of teeth, and Rabbit's snowball blocked his burrow. Ark! Wah! Said Rabbit, and turned and ran.
And here's Bunny running. And then there's just a page with the chase. Oh dear, thought Bear. Rabbit gave me a carrot, so he's my friend. And that's Bear thinking. Bear made a snowball and threw it. With all her bear's strength, it went over Wolf's head and landed on the frozen lake. Crack, plop, whoops. And here's a snowball going far too far. Bear made a second snowball and threw it. With a lot less of her bear's strength, it fell not very far from Bear. Just here. Bear frowned. She made a third snowball and threw it. With just the right amount of her bear's strength, it landed on the wolf's head, right between his ears. Thud. Right here. Far below, Wolf skidded to a halt, shouted, "You keep out of this," to Bear, and raced on again after Rabbit. Bear sighed. No, to stop Wolf, you'd need a snowball as big as an avalanche and as fast as a train. Wait. Here's the grumpy wolf. There's Bear. Bear knocked off her snowman's head and sent it rolling down the hill towards where Wolf was going to be in about a minute. Bear was actually a lot cleverer than she thought she was. There's all the snowballs.
Rabbit, as he ran, looked over his shoulder at Wolf, and his eyes opened wide. "Look behind you!" gasped Rabbit. "I'm not falling for that," panted Wolf. He did hear a noise behind him. All right. No, he wasn't going to look at it. It's a trick. It's just another of Bear's snowballs. Well, it is, and it isn't, said Rabbit. He tried to remember what his three-legged grandfather had said about avalanches. Oh yes, it's a good idea to get out of the way of them. Ah, that was it, panted Rabbit, and jumped sideways. Can you see the big snowball in the back? What was it? Panted Wolf, and the noise was so loud now that he finally looked over his shoulder. He didn't have time to gasp. A snowball the size of an avalanche hit Wolf faster than a train, toot toot, and rolled him out onto the thin ice of the lake. The ice cracked. Uh-oh, Wolf's gonna take a bath. By the time Wolf had crawled ashore, Rabbit was half a mile away. Wolf snorted. Ouch! There was something stuck up his nose. He sneezed. Out popped an old, black, floppy carrot. Wolf sniffed it. Oh! Still, he rather liked the way it just sat there. Sniff, sniff. Maybe I'll go vegetarian for a bit, said Wolf. I'm sick of having my dinner run away from me at 40 miles an hour. There he is, getting out of the lake with a floppy carrot on the ground. Wolf gave the carrot a bite. Wolf spat the old black floppy carrot back into the lake. He sighed, licked his huge, sharp teeth and went home to dry off. Oh, poor Wolf walking back home. Bear, said Rabbit, why do you save me when I was so mean to you? Because you gave me a carrot, said Bear. But it was an old black floppy carrot, said Rabbit. It's the thought that counts, said Bear. Rabbit blushed and ran off. Oh well, thought Bear. I suppose he's gone to eat, or poo, or eat poo. But he hadn't. Back home, Rabbit pushed the body of his snowman until it rolled down his hill and halfway up Bear's. Bear! Shouted Rabbit. Help me push this snowball up your hill. Oh, there it is. It is over there. When they'd got to the top, Rabbit panted. It's a present for your snowman. They heaved the new head onto the body. Bear did most of the heaving, as Rabbit, couldn't reach that high. Perfect, they said. Bear carefully pushed 2 pine cones into the head for eyes. Perfect, they said. Rabbit picked up a curved stick, jumped as high as he could, and slapped the mouth on the snowman. Perfect, said Rabbit. Said Bear. I wonder what they're going to do. The stick unstuck and fell off. Bear turned it upside down and carefully put it back on so that it made it smile. Perfect, they said together. I'm afraid I lost the carrot that you gave me, said Bear. Rabbit smiled, for the first time ever. It hardly hurt at all. He reached behind him. Ta-da! Rabbit gave his best and brightest orange carrot to Bear. For your snowman. No, said Bear. No? Said Rabbit, shocked. For our snowman, said Bear, and carefully pushed the carrot nose into the snowman's head. Perfect, they said together. So, said Rabbit happily, tomorrow we could meet up and play? And sorry, said Bear, I'm really hungry and I've no food. I'll have to go back to sleep till winter is over. Rabbit smiled. It was even easier the second time. He produced a honeycomb from behind his back and a frozen salmon and some delicious beetle eggs. But, this is just like the food I had, Bear said. It is the food you had, said Rabbit. I'm sorry I stole it. You can have it all back. But then you won't have any food, said Bear. I don't think I deserve any, said Rabbit, very quietly. Well, look here, Rabbit, said Bear. You don't like being a rabbit anyway. Why not stay in my cave and be a bear with me? Perfect, said Rabbit. Let's have a moonlight picnic to celebrate, said Bear. And here they are, sitting having their moonlight picnic in the cave. It was a long and lovely picnic. Bear had built up a wonderful appetite after sleeping half the winter, and Rabbit was, as usual, very, very hungry. Rabbit looked out the mouth of the warm cave at the snowman, glittering in the moonlight. He looks a bit lonely out there in the cold, said Rabbit. In the morning, murmured Bear, we can make him a friend. And Rabbit and Bear fell asleep together in the warm cave. Outside, the snowman smiled in the moonlight. Okay guys, that's the end of the book, but look out for more Rabbit and Bear books coming soon. Ooh, there is more in the series. Bye.
Well, my little darlings, what did you think of that? There were some surprise story readers. Did you like it? I do love Rabbit and Bear. And your Unky Ben and Sassy Bear, little Sarah, also, that's Ben's girlfriend. She's lovely. She also read some of the story, and Pappy too. I hope that was a really nice surprise. Anyway, that's the end of today's YouTube, but I'll be back to read you something else soon. If you have any requests or any stories you'd really like to hear, do let me know. Get your mama or your mummy and daddy or your papa to send me a text and let me know what stories you'd like to hear. I love you so much. I love you all the way to your house and to your heart. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe.